Tony Ferguson just hates cutting weight. He says it makes him look like a skinny little bitch. And believe it or not, that's actually why El Cucuy has decided to put on weight and move up a division for his next assignment. The UFC rockstar will be taking on the tough Li Jingliang at UFC 279. Keep watching this video and we'll tell you about the awkward matchup. First up, an appearance after 10 years. Did you know that the last time Tony fought in the welterweight division was back in 2011 on the finale of The Ultimate Fighter? No doubt it was a really solid performance, but let's face it, Tony is almost out of time, and the decision to gain weight and fight in the welterweight division at that age is really a gutsy move. For starters, it's one of the most competitive divisions of the UFC. It's full of monsters capable of putting Ferguson away without trouble whatsoever. But we're still not ruling him out, especially when he's going up against someone like Li Jingliang. Now, don't get us wrong, Li is an exceptional athlete. He's really good at naked twisting and packs some exceptional strength. We're also firm believers that Li is one of the most clinical strikers in the division, and while that is his main strength, it also tends to hold him back at times. He often waits too long to find an opening instead of building up pressure and being aggressive. And against Tony, a guy who's a wrestler and striker packed into one fighter, not only is it going to be a really entertaining fight, but we also think it's going to be really difficult for both fighters. Also, if we look at things from Tony's perspective, this switch to welterweight is actually a good thing for him and his camp. That's mainly because the guy is a total beast. He just trains, and all that strain of cutting weight, especially when you're 38, hits you really bad. So at least now he can train without having to worry about losing too much power. On a side note, another reason why we think this is a good move is because he'll look a lot less scarier now. He looks absolutely terrifying after cutting so much weight. Up next, a must-win. This is El Cucuy's last chance to make his UFC exit a memorable one. We've only seen him get beaten to pulp the last couple of times he stepped into the octagon, and don't even get us started on that kick to the chin by Michael Chandler. That's forever going to be one of the best knockouts we've ever seen. But as a fighter, Tony has done a lot for the game. He's been an amazing person for the promotion outside the cage too. And while he'll always be remembered as a UFC legend, he'll also be someone who fell down pretty bad at the end of his career. You have to realize though, fighting is like a drug for these guys. They're always looking for the next fix, and we doubt Ferguson wants to hang up the gloves at 38. We certainly think he should, but he's still super fit and active. If he wins it, who knows? Dana might just throw another fight at him. But if he loses, it's game over. We doubt a fighter who's lost 5 times in a row, that too at the age of 38, will get another chance to enter the cage. So what do you do if you're Tony? Win or lose, accept this is the end. End of making mediocre money. El Cucuy should seriously dip his toes into different sports as a free agent. He's expressed a desire to play some other leagues and have fun while he still can. So again, win or lose, this is going to be good for Tony. After all, why would he want to continue fighting under a drug dealer? Remember, that's what he called Dana before his brutal knockout against Michael Chandler. But like every fighter nearing 40 years of age, we think it's going to be a wake-up call for him when he enters the cage. He'll probably just call it quits himself like Luke did after going up against Paulo Costa. And now for a really pointless fight. Former UFC fighter Chael Sonnen, aka the American Gangster, thinks this is a fight that leads to absolutely nothing. Sonnen also confessed that he had no idea who Li was before the fight was announced for September 10th. In fact, Sonnen didn't even know the guy's name. He called him Leech initially because that's what he goes by at the UFC. But Kyle thought that he meant he just holds on to guys and doesn't let them go throughout the entire fight. No hard feelings, Lee, but that's kind of what it sounds like. Alright, back to why it's a pointless fight. The American Gangster is really confused. What happens if Tony wins the fight? Then what? Or what's Lee going to get for beating a 38-year-old? A little shot or something? It's just a regular fight that leads to absolutely nothing. Sonnen doesn't even get why there was a whole presser for it. Like, we get it. It's on the card. That's good enough. You don't need to build so much hype for a fight that's not worth it. Kyle's words, not ours. We have utmost respect for both fighters, regardless of what it may lead to. But yeah, about the fight being pointless, we gotta side with the gangster on that one. Time for some more news on the UFC. Up next, heavy shoulders. Someone please come get Conor McGregor. It seems as if the news of him starring in Amazon's remake of a Hollywood classic, Roadhouse, has gotten to his head. The former doubleweight champion of the UFC took to Twitter and called out 3 active divisional leaders, and the fact fact that he makes it sound like he's giving them a shot just makes things so much more embarrassing. The Irishman first called out middleweight champion Adesanya. At least leave him out of it, man. He'd send you to the shadow realm without even breaking a sweat. And let's not forget that both these guys are managed by the same company. That's definitely not good for business. Then when we sort of thought he would stick to his own division or play around with the division below him, but you know McGregor. He then proceeds to take Yuri Prochazka's name, who's currently the lightweight heavyweight champion of the UFC. That's going a bit out of bounds now, Connor. Don't do anything that could get you into some serious trouble. And if we're being honest with you, we're pretty sure he's just messing around half the time, but he did take a name that made a lot of sense. Any guesses? If you said Leon Edwards, then you're right. It was actually the first name he wrote in his tweet. Moving on, all that for a shot at Connor? When we first heard about this, we were actually a bit shocked. In fact, we still have trouble believing Charles is fighting Islam only so he could get a money fight against Connor sometime next year. Seriously? All that for a shot at the Irishman? Or is it a shot at the money? If you ask us, it's probably the cash. He's been around at the UFC for a long time now. And yeah, sure, he might not be as old compared to Tony Ferguson, but the guy probably has other things he wants to do in mind. And before that, he wants to cash in and make a boatload of money before moving on to other endeavors. Respect to the Brazilian for being honest about what he wants, though. And remember how Makhachev just couldn't handle how Bronx kept calling out McGregor instead of him? Well, it seems like the former champ has one-upped him again by saying he's nothing but a distraction from the real fight. Finally, still looking up. Despite losing his first appearance at light heavyweight, the last stylebender still hasn't ruled out moving up a weight class to join the highly exclusive list of double champs. The Nigerian is set to make his 6th title defense against longtime rival Alex Pereira. And judging by how things are, the move looks inevitable. See, if he loses, the most that can happen at middleweight is a rematch. Dana will reschedule a match immediately to give Adesanya a chance to win it back. Or the 33-year-old could skip a division and move up to heavyweight. That's right, we said heavyweight. Talking to MMA Junkie, the champ said he wants to move back up to 205 and eventually go even higher to heavyweight. It's a risky move, but it'll be respectable by the fight world. It just goes to show you how much heart and guts he has. But yeah, it'll be better if he focused on Alex first, and after that, maybe we can all entertain the thought of a massive Izzy. That's it from our side, folks. So what do you think? Will Tony be able to redeem himself in the welterweight division? And is Sonnen right about this fight being pointless? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.